Hi Gaurav, good morning. Just tell me your introduction.
Good morning. I'm Gaurav. I did my graduation from GIT Belgavi, and currently I'm working as a front-end developer since last 2 years. And my specifications are skill set are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React.
So you are currently working as a React developer.
Yeah, correct.
So we'll start from HTML. So do you know what is the latest version of HTML we are currently using?
Yeah, HTML5 is the latest version we are using.
Okay. And if we want to upload any file, so which type of tags we are using?
If you have to upload a file, we have to use an input tag of type file.
So okay, we'll move to CSS. So what is the current version of CSS?
CSS3 is the current version of what we are using.
Okay. So how many ways are there so we can implement CSS on any HTML?
So there are three ways. First is inline CSS, and the second is internal CSS. Third is external CSS. In inline, in the same line where we are declaring any element or assigning any element. So what we do, we can write style for that particular element there. And in internal CSS, what we do in the head, in the head part of HTML, we write style tag, and using the style tag as uh, inside the style tag we put our CSS, and in external file we create a file and we import that file, and then we attach our whatever CSS styling we want to do.
Okay, so what is the position attributes?
Uh, there are four position attributes. First is uh, the static, and which is the default one. Second is relative, absolute, and fixed.
Okay, and what is different between margin and the padding?
Uh, so the difference between content and the border is known as padding, and the difference between border and the other element is known as margin.
So have you used flex box?
Yes, flexbox.
So if we want to center any div by flex, so what is the tags we are using, the styling we are using?
So in Flex, there are two attributes. One is justify content, and the second is or justify item, and the second is align item. So in justify item, that uses that is used for aligning the items horizontally, and align item is used to align it vertically. So if we put justify item and also align item as center, we will get our div or whatever element is in the center of the whole box.
Okay, okay, we will move to React part. So what is the major features of React?
So React, React, the so
Like virtual DOM.
yeah, so React, what it does, it uses virtual DOM, and it uh, then sync it with the real DOM. So if there is any change, and what React does, if it first changes the virtual DOM, and then it syncs with the real DOM, which is known as uh, recurring. I'm sorry, I'm not able to recall it. I think it's reconciling. So it reconciles with it, and this is how it updates. So using this method, it is fast, and it takes less data to by in because it does not have to change every component. It just changes the component which needs to be changed.
Okay. Any other features like reusable component?
Yeah, correct. So every component in React can be reused, and React also is is follow a one-way direction. It passes data in a single direction, unidirection.
Okay. Uh, what is JSX?
JSX is basically how JSX is not only related to React. It is used by different languages. But if I have to define JSX, it is basically an HTML language which also allows to write JavaScript inside it.
Okay. So which type of React components you are using in your project, like functional or class
Yeah, so
component?
there are two components, the two type of component, function and class, but I'm using functional components.
So what is the benefit of using functional component?
Functional components are very easy, and the code are very user friendly, and it is similar to the function how we used to define in or use in JavaScript.
What is state and what is proxy?
So state is basically an object, and which tells us the which can give the current value, and props are data or object which is sent from parent to children.
So is there any way that we can pass data from children to parent?
Yes, we can pass data from children to parent, and for which we mostly use callback functions for this.
So is this is the right way, or do we have to pass data from a child to parent, or it's a wrong way to?
No, officially React what React uses it gives a single unidirectional feature, but this is not the wrong way, because we are using callback functions, so passing data in callback function is not wrong.
Okay. What is pure component?
Pure component is they are component which renders only when the state changes, and the state whatever the new state is or the new data is, it should not match with the previous existing data. So,
What is lazy load?
lazy loading is a part of code splitting, and what it does whenever we want to use there if the code is very big and we are using more than there are many components which has to be loaded. So what we do, we use a fallout which until till the time the whole component whole page is loaded, so that fallout can display some message, and using that so this is basically lazy loading is.
Can you use HTML of JSX?
No, no. If we are using HTML, then we won't be able to write the JavaScript logic and all in React.
What is React router?
So React router, it is used to link different pages or different section of the website in it. So it is a type of link tag.
Okay. So have you used Redux?
I haven't used Redux, but yes, I have knowledge about it. I have studied it.
What are the main things that are used?
In, in Redux we have a store, and there is only one single store, and in that store we can save our component which we want to pass on to different child component. So using this, basically Redux is a state management tool. So what we do that using redux we save ourselves from prop dealing. So prop dealing is a phenomena in which we unwantedly, and there is no use of it, but we have to pass our props from children to parent and to grandparent, and then again back to some another children. So you we can just avoid this prop drilling concept, and we can come to we can use redux or use context api. So and there's a state sorry, there's a store where we can keep our data. There's a action which is created by a action creator, and there is a reducer. So this reducer is used to uh, dispatch the action which is the which is provided. The action is provided by the action creator.
Have you used hooks?
Yes.
Which have you used?
uh, Hooks use state, use effect, and use location is used to create on hooks. And there's use ref, then there's use memo. Yeah.
So have you used Navi?
uh, Sorry, I can't recall it.
So what is the uses of using?
So use effect is basically used if we want to call api, or use effect has many uses, and calling api is one of them, and it can also be used for to resemble the various life cycle of class based component, as in component should update or component did update, component will unmount. So these all can be used using use effect.
Okay, and use mem.
Use memo is basically same as the pure functions in pure component in class based function. So it is basically take a memoized value, and if the state is changing to another value which it compares with the saved value, and if it is different, then only it renders, and it is basically used to avoid the unwanted rendering.
Okay, so have you called APIs in?
Yes, we use fetch method to call API in React. It is used inside use effect.
Why we are using?
So we use it inside use effect to avoid uh, like if we want to call that API, if some component is updating after that. So in the dependency array we put the component which when it changes we want to call that API. So this can be done using use effect. So the conditions can be put using use effect. If we do not use use effect, then also we can call API. That's not an issue, but those conditions cannot be applied.
I will add in this. So actually, use effect does like every single changes. If you return anything, it will be called like 1,000 times. Use effect renders the whole page 1,000 times. So that means if you are changing anything, it will be changed on the page in on the real time.
Okay.
Okay. And what is async await?
Async await is uh, async is an asynchronous function which is basically React is based on JavaScript, which is a very synchronous language. But when we want to do asynchronous task, async await is used, and it is very useful because whenever we use await before a function, it the whole execution stops until and unless the result comes from that function.
So where you have used it? API call. You are calling API by using promises or async await.
No, I'm calling it by using promises.
So how you are calling it?
Using dot then dot catch.
What is the meaning of promise?
So promise is what when we used to call using callback function, what happens, there is two issues with callback. One is callback hell and another is inversion of control. So these both is managed by promises, because if there is an error in one promise, it can be tackled by dot catch, and then the next promise can be called. But in callback, it used to happen, if any of the callback gives error, so there is a chance that the other callbacks might crash or might not give the desired value. So by promises, these things has been resolved.
Okay, so have you heard about strict mode?
Yeah, strict mode is included in 16 React 16 version, and it what it does, it renders the it basically executes the program twice. So using strict mode, if anything we want to write in console, so it will always give the uh, output two times, because using this, it basically reduces the scope of errors.
Okay, and what is React mix?
React Mixon. Sorry, I don't recall.
So if we have two components on the same level of file hierarchy, and if you want to send one state to other component, how we can do?
So either we can send it to parent, and after that we can send it to child first, and second, what we can do is we can context API. So by using it, we can create a context, and one of the sender is the provider, and there can be a consumer, and data or props can be sent through it.
What are the life cycle?
So basically, there are three life cycles in React. First is uh, uploading, then the second is updating, and third is, sorry, mounting, updating, and unmounting. So in mounting, first constructor is called, then a render, and then component did mount, and in updating, the uh, component should mount, then again it renders, and then component did mount, and in unmounting, component will unmount.
Using, or which life cycle is used by which life cycle is used in which hooks? Like if you are using a state, so which life cycle will be called?
So first, if we use effect, and in that, if we keep the dependency array blank, so it resembles the component uh, did mount uh, uh, hook. Sorry, component did mount life cycle, and if we are if we are putting any component which should be updated in the use effect hooks dependency array, then it will resemble the component should mount. And if we put a return statement inside the use effect, and whatever we write after that, so it resembles the component will unmount lifecycle.
Have you heard about code operation?
No, sorry.
Code operation.
Sorry, can you please once again?
Asking about that code operation. So like So calling API, so you have to choose a method, post, get, put, get, this type of methods have.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, post, get, and delete.
Can you elaborate in what methods does?
So when we are calling API using fetch method, so if we want to get data, so there is no requirement of writing method as get. But if we specifically if we are posting some data, then in fetch method first we have to put the API link, and then we'll pass an object in which action is there, and in action we write the method, sorry, in method, so there's a method, and in method we write post, and then there's body, and in body we write type of data, and then we use dot then, and then whatever if JSON data is there, then we will uh, stringify it, and we will post it. And if there's delete, then also after API link we have to pass an object inside which method is delete, and then we use it to delete the data.
What is difference getting and put?
Put is used when we are when we are adding a new data to the existing database, but in updating we want to change the particular data, we want to modify it.
Okay. Have you used map function?
Yes.
What is?
So map function, what it does, it basically maps, like if there's an array, so or an object, it will map one to one to each element, and it will do the required manipulations which is which we want to.
So, so when we are using map functions, so there are some errors are there. Like we have to use keys. Have you faced that one?
Yes, in map, if you are not using key, then there will be a warning to use key. So in that key is, if we are using some data, if we are calling some data, then of course that data will have some ID, so that ID can be used as key. Or else if there is no ID, then what we can do, we can keep it as like math dot random, and we can assign some value to key.
Okay. How we can use routers?
So sorry.
Router.
So, so there's a wrapper which we used as browser router, and inside it we first provide link, and in link we give path to it, and the second is we use routes, and inside it we create route to the link provided, and we can like map the like we can route whatever link we want to.
Okay.
Thank you.